Hello there, boys! Today we're going to take a look at the American faction in the German Soldiers mod. Link in the description to that mod. And before I begin, do let me know in the comments what or which. Is it what nation or which nation? That's where that's where my English fails. Just say which nation, it'll probably be wrong. But which nation you want me to play or show to you next? We have Japan, we have the Russians, the Germans, and the Commonwealth left. Already have done the Hungarians, the Italians, the Frenchies, the Polish, and the. Did I mention Hungarians, Romanians? I think I didn't mention the Romanians yet. Anyway. So there's a link in the description as well, or it's going to be pop up on screen or a card or whatever, I'm not really sure, but there's going to be a link to my Metaverse Assault Squad 2 playlist in which you can also find the other GSM faction overview videos. But yeah, do let me know in the comment section which nation I should show next. Hint, it's not going to be Germany because I'm saving that one for last, sorry. So you basically get to choose between Russia, Japan, and the Commonwealth. And I'm choosing Germany last for the most obvious reason. They have the most units and vehicles that are added in this mod, and also because I think they are the coolest. They have the coolest additions, and you know they have the coolest tanks. And everybody knows the Tiger and the King Tiger and the Panther and stuff. So come on, we gotta save Germany for last. Anyhow, today we are taking a look at the Americans. The United States of America, the US of A, the USA, the US, the whatever you want to call them. And how this works, I'm just going to buy every unit in the list and show you them very quickly. You know, I'm not going to spend 2 hours on this, although I guess with Germany I'll probably be at least an hour. But let's get started, alright? So, we got the tank mans, as they're called. These are just your average Joe tank crew. This guy seems to have a nice, one is a mustache, but he actually doesn't have one. Armed with that famous Colt 45. And damn, it sounds pretty good in this mod, I like it. It sounds a lot heavier. But then again, you know, it's one tank guy. Do you really need me to spend time looking at that guy? A conscript, stopgap filler, somebody that you call in, you know, to defend a line or something. These guys are armed with the Springfield. It's a it's a bolt action rifle, 5 rounds. Guy comes with a grenade and 2 heal packs. Moving on to the rifleman, pretty much costing almost double one of the conscript, armed with 3 AP grenades. And I think a little bit more ammo, mainly because, well, this guy is going to burn through ammo because he's using the M1 Garand. And that is a semi-automatic rifle, which puts America at a very good spot when it comes to early infantry combat in the game. They are able to use those semi-automatic rifles in close combat way more effectively than other nations can use their rifles. Because, of course, the Kar 98K, the Mosin Nagant, the Arisaka, and the Linfield all are bolt action and fire slower. So a squad of riflemen from the Americans, I think they're also more expensive, but they are pretty damn good. Alright, moving up. The submachine gunner, costing 14 points, armed with that famous Tommy gun or Thompson submachine gun. I like the camouflage on this guy. Kind of reminds me of like a Pacific camouflage, pretty much. The guy is armed with 2 AP, 1 AT, and 1 smoke grenade. Let me just listen. Tommy gun armed with a 30 round mag. There's also a 20 round and a 50 round variant, so it really depends. But this is the one with the 30 round. Moving up to the shotgunners, a nation-specific unit. A 4-star efficiency, by the way. Let me take a look. The rifleman had a 2-star, SMG had a 2-star, and the conscript actually has a 1-star, so there's definitely a difference in those. The shotgunner has a 4-star efficiency. The guy's also armed with 1 AT and 2 AP grenades. Well, as the range isn't as much, you can see it's like, what, 40 meters, I guess? Hang on, let's take a look. Yeah, it's 40 meters, but you don't want to get shot at by... look at that speed. Just look at the freaking firing speed of this thing. Let's listen to it again. The reload time is pretty slow, but you know you can buy 2 or 3 of them and just spam them. Let's listen up. Listen to this. That's insane. Like, I don't want to get shot at by like all those cartridges. A very interesting unit. Doesn't cost that much, 15 MP. And especially with AT grenade, it's a very interesting unit, you know, to have in a city and throw the AT grenade or use a shotgun at close range. Moving on to the first machine gunner, armed with that famous BAR. I'm still not sure. I know it's not Bren automatic rifle. I forgot what it is. Is it Bren automatic rifle? I'm confused now. Guys armed with just the machine gun and the rounds. The machine gun itself fires pretty rapidly. The slow, low capacity round does create issues, I think, when you're being rushed and one machine gunner is holding, a flank. But the fast reload, well, the faster than average machine gun reload does fix this in a way. And also, it's quite accurate. So it's a good machine gunner, and it's one of the most iconic machine guns, I guess, of World War II after the MG42.
Yes, sir.
Moving on, we have the Elite SMG. This guy is armed with the Tommy gun with the 50 rounds, as I said. One of the Rangers, people that stormed the cliffs at Omaha Beach on June 6, 1944. The guy's armed with the Gangster Tommy gun. I love this. Look at that. Look at that drum magazine. Listen up. That doesn't make me smile halfway down the clip. It just, oh, I love it. Guys armed with 2 AT, 3 AP, 2 smokes, and a dynamite, so it's pretty damn useful. For city defense, anti-tank defense, whatever. Moving on to the Elite Rifleman. Guys armed with the M1 Garand again. It's just an airborne. He actually has 2 grenades, 3 grenades, 2 AP, 3 AP, 2 AT, and 2 smoke. Let me just buy another 2 and be sure that these guys don't actually spawn. Okay, I thought maybe they would spawn with a M1 carbine, but they don't. But they are all armed with a satchel charge as well, which is basically a giant TNT sack that you can throw way further. So it's pretty useful actually in the city again against like a track tank or whatever. Pretty damn big explosion. Moving on, we have the Elite MG armed with a 30 cal. Yes, a fucking 30 cal with 200 rounds. And while he is firing, I'll take a look. We have 3 AP grenades, 1 anti-tank grenade, 2 smoke grenades, and also a little fortification builder. Meantime, he's still firing. He's not going to stop firing. Don't worry, he's just going to keep on firing. He burns through the ammo pretty quickly, you can see. That is already over half his ammo gone. So that's the thing in GSM. The ammunition for units is pretty low, but I guess that's more historic. Moving on to the common engineers. Not really much I can say about these guys. Guys are armed with a Springfield. One has AT, one has AP mines. Not really worth taking a look at really. For any longer. That's for sure. And we have the sappers, which are basically the same unit, but it has 1 extra star for some reason. And it has a TNT and a mine sweeper or mine seeker to take out or find mines if they were around. We have the recoilless rifle, probably one of the coolest missile launchers in my opinion. Quite a good range. So let's take a look. What is that range? It's like 60 meters. It's over 60 meters, 65 meters at the very least. And this thing is really powerful. I think it fires like an 80. I forgot what size the charge is, but it fires a wow, that went far. It fires a pretty dangerous charge with a fast reload, a lot of ammo. The guy's also armed with that Colt 35 for close range defense, but usually when you have one of these guys, you probably have them backed up by other people anyway. And that fucking recoilless rifle is pretty fucking good. Alright, no idea why it's called recoilless rifle. Is it because it has no recoil? Okay, that was bad. 80 infantry armed with the famous bazooka, armed again with a Colt 45 for close range defense, and 8 rockets. Actually, I guess it's 9 because there's one in the bazooka as well. Where are we? AT grenade or AT infantry, grenade rifle grenade. Jesus Christ, infantry armed with a Garand with a nice grenade launcher on top of it. Is pretty useful, I guess, if there's like a machine gunner hiding behind a fence or behind a wall, and you want him to do you want to dislodge him, but you want to like spend like hundreds of manpowers on mortars like here, like 300 to 500 or even more like on a vehicle. So you can probably get one for 50 points, and you can use those to keep people behind walls suppressed or whatever. Here we have the M2 flamethrower. Not gonna pay attention to it because in every nation it's the same guy.
Yes, sir.
It just looks different and has the same weapon, the M2 flamethrower from the Americans actually. The sniper, this guy probably armed with a Springfield. Is that a Springfield with a scope on it? I might be wrong. All I know is that the Americans, I think, actually paid for the design of the Car 98. You can see.
I got you in my scope.
It's basically a Car 98. You know, slow reload, slow. You know, has a Colt 45 for backup and some camouflage sets. Not really anything special here. Safeguards already up. Not gonna pay attention to him because it's the exact same guy armed with a Thompson. The captain comes with one of these Dodge 56s. Look at the captain out there. Actually, he has a lieutenant marking. Sure, I guess that's for sure. And then we'll grab the... He has 2 binoculars now. He has one on his chest and one in his face. The binoculars are able to be used against... You know, you can use them through the fog of war. There's no fog of war on this map, so I can't show it. But, you know, you can look through the fog of war and spot units, also hidden units. And last but not least, he also has, you know, ammo grenades to throw ammo grenade crates down from the sky. Moving on to the infantry squads, we have these 2 tank guys. I never really understood why you would have 1 or 2, but 2 of these cost 8. One of these costs 5. So you know you get a second. Basically, you save 2 manpower buying the 2 of them. Conscript squad, fully armed. Actually, that's not very true. I was gonna say fully armed, but these actually have. Oh, okay.
Yes,
hang on.
sir.
Got it, sir.
These guys have these amazing. I love these rifles. Hang on.
Yes, sir. Got it,
One
sir.
second, boys.
Got it, sir.
These,
Got it, sir.
I think, are Canadian guns, if I can remember correctly. M50 Rising. No idea why they have these. They look very weird, but I think these were Canadian SMGs. I could be wrong, but I want to say they were. But basically, are armed with 5 guys with submachine guns, 5 guys with Springfields. They're just basically like a very, you know, either like a last effort, you know, unit or like a very like sacrificial unit with 10 grenades. So each guy 1 grenade as well. Moving on to the American Rifle Squad, they have let's see, they have 1 MG. It's probably a BAR.
Got it, sir.
And they have 1 guy
Yes, sir.
with a M2 carbine, but that's not the guy I'm looking for.
Got it, sir.
Okay, this is the squad leader. He has that 50-round mag, but these guys, this guy actually has a third as M2. This guy isn't a rifleman, but look at that fire rate. Holy crap! So
Let's move out.
Yes,
they
sir.
have
Columns, gentlemen.
1.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Damn.
The Germans are gonna learn how we do it in Missouri.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
That's
thank
it.
you,
Let's
Missouri.
move out.
Then they have
Back
5
in
normal
columns,
rifles,
Got
1
it,
bar,
sir.
1
Yes, sir.
50-round Tommy gun, and 3 of
Got it,
these
sir. Yes,
M2s,
sir.
which are amazing. It's crazy. Fire rate on those. These are rifles. It's awesome.
Got it, sir.
They have 25 AP grenades and 3 AT grenades. Damn, that's a lot of AP grenades as well, by the way. American Assault Squad, 10 points more than the other squad. Comes with 2 shotgun troopers,
Yes, sir.
2 with a
Got
grease
it, sir.
gun,
Yes, sir.
3,
All right, that's it. Let's move
4,
out. Tactical
sir.
columns, gentlemen.
5,
Yes, sir.
6,
Got it, sir.
7 machine guns in all different variants, from the Thompson with the 30, Thompson with the 50,
Yes,
to a
sir.
grease gun, which sounds really stupid. But that's for another time, because we'll just have these guys attack around and
do it in
you can
Missouri.
listen to how awesome this sounds. Made me giggle a little bit. And we got 2 shotgunners and that BAR
That's it.
machine gun
Let's move
again.
out.
They are with
Tactical
20
columns,
grenades, 8 AT grenades, so you get a couple less AP grenades, but
Yes,
you get
sir.
more smokes and a lot more AT grenades for 10 manpower more. Moving on to the airborne squad, these guys are interesting. 1.
Got it, sir.
Let's see. Let me
Yes,
get
sir.
this guy's old. Oh God, there's a lot of
Yes,
different
sir.
weapons in this squad.
Got it, sir.
Okay, we
Got
have
it,
1
sir.
BAR with a 3-star.
Germans are gonna
We
learn how
have
we do it in
Got it,
actually
sir.
sorry, we have 2 BARs.
Got it, sir.
We have
sir.
All right,
let's
that's
see.
it. Let's move out.
Yes,
Tactical
sir.
columns,
Got
gentlemen.
it, sir. Yes, sir.
We have this is very
Got it,
weird.
sir.
So the 2 people armed with the recoilless
sir.
rifles have the M2 right
Yes,
of the
sir.
M2 carbine, which, as you
Germans
saw
are
just
gonna
now,
learn
are these very rapid-firing rifles. We have
sir.
3 guys with a
Germans are gonna
normal
learn how we
M1
do it in
Garand.
Missouri.
We have 2 guys with a BAR, and then damn, these fucking paratroops look sexy as fuck. And we have 3 guys with the M1A1 carbine, which is pretty good. That's a rapid fire. It has 15 rounds, and it does decent damage, especially close range. That's a pretty good gun.
Yes, sir.
So it's a very diverse unit. 28 grenades, 16 AT, 12 rockets, and 14 smokes. Moving them up. Moving on to the U.S. Marines for 10 points more, 200 points in total. These guys have the the Johnson LMG. I don't know why I called them Rangers, really. What is this? Where does this guy have the Johnson rifle? It's not even that good. I don't know why he's using that. Sure. This guy's a Johnson rifle. This guy's a Johnson rifle. This guy's got Johnson rifles, though.
Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
We have a flamethrower
Got
in
it,
there
sir.
as well. Another Johnson LMG. Did it say
Yes,
Johnson
sir.
rifle? Oh, it's the same.
Got
Isn't
it,
this
sir.
like the same same
Yes, sir.
manufacturer probably then?
All right, that's it. Let's move out.
4 guys with Johnson
Calms,
rifles.
gentlemen.
Not really sure. I don't really like those rifles that much. They're not really good or anything. They're just like Lee Enfields to
Got
me,
it,
basically.
sir.
They're slow. I guess they're kind of semi-automatic. I'm not really sure.
Got it,
We have a
sir.
flemover, 3 guys with
Sherman's gonna learn how we
SMGs,
do it in
Yes, sir.
and
Missouri.
2 guys
Got it,
with
sir.
the Johnson machine guns, which are pretty good. I'll be honest. They actually are
sir.
pretty good. So moving on, last but not the last actual squad is the 210-point Ranger squad. Now these have 2 guys with 30 cals. Damn, that's a whole lot of machine
Got
guns.
it, sir.
A guy with a 50-round clip
Yes, sir.
SMG. A grease gun guy,
Yes, sir.
another grease gun guy,
Yes,
2
sir.
guys with a
Yes,
Thompson
sir. Yes,
and
sir.
a bazooka, and another
Got it, sir.
That's it. Let's
Yes,
move
sir.
out.
another
That
3 guys. So they have
calms,
4
gentlemen.
guys with 50-round clips of Thompson. They have
Sherman's
2
gonna learn how
30
we
cals
do
and
it in
2
Missouri.
bazookas with Thompsons, coming up to a total of 32 AP, 16 AT, 16 smoke, and 16 anti-tank rockets. American Mechanized. Always interesting to take a look at these guys. Let me get them out of there.
Yes,
Also
sir.
these guys as well.
Yes,
Basically,
sir.
you pay for the half track,
Got
and I'm
it,
pretty
sir.
sure this is just a normal, regular
Got it, sir.
infantry squad that
Yes,
you
sir.
find.
Got
But
it,
this
sir.
time you
Sherman's gonna
basically
learn how
That's
we
it.
do it
Let's
get
in
move
yourself
Missouri.
also a
That
half
calms,
track with it
gentlemen.
as well. Which the half track itself is armed with a 30 cal on the top, which can go with 360 degrees, which is pretty good. 6 grenades, 2 AT, a TNT. Ammo, other ammo for other guns. You even have, I was gonna say AIDS, band-aids, and a bazooka with 9 rockets. So that's pretty good, actually 10, because I think there's one in there as well. Okay, and last but not least, we have the sappers, which is just, your average guy with AT or AP grenades, and a truck that comes with engineer supplies. That's all the infantry units dealt with. My throat is already quite dry. Alright, moving on. My apologies. Moving on to the Waze MB, the famous Jeep, which apparently has invisible see-through things. Looks pretty weird, actually. It looks very scary. Anyhow, yes, it's armed with a 30 cal, and it can go pretty fast at 45 kilometers an hour. This is something that can definitely, harass enemy, do some damage. You can also take out the 30 cal and give it to like a friendly soldier. There's a lot of things you can do with that Jeep. Or scout ahead, I'm not really sure what you want to do with it. The M4 high-speed tracker. And the first time I saw this was in a museum, and I thought it was like a Korean-era thing. I've never ever seen pictures of this, but apparently it was used. It has a 30 cal on the top, has room for 4 more people in the back. Or actually maybe 5 more, I'm not really sure. At least that's what it says on there. Only see 2 people, I'm not really sure, but it's quite fast. It can tow heavy artillery pieces. But it's actually not that slow for such a great big vehicle on tracks. Moving on to the GMC CCKW, which is the engineer truck we just bought. This time doesn't come with the added, added units, the added sappers. We have the GMC, the one with the ammo. It just looks different. Not going to really pay attention. The GMC refueler. By the way, pay attention if this thing explodes. You are in a world of hurt. And then all these trucks are literally the same as this one over here, which I'll just buy one more of. Just to be sure, to show you, it's literally the same thing as this one. Although, also, I'm going to do something very rude, but I don't want to get too many people on the map at the same time, so let's look what happens if an explosion hits that ammo fuel truck. I guess nothing happens, because he shot someone in the fucking line of fire. And he sucks at aiming. Wow, damn, this guy's bad. This is an airborne. Oh my god, what the fuck?
All right, that's it. Let's move out.
Tactical columns, gentlemen.
Okay, that's what happens when you don't protect your ammo truck and you literally just get absolutely wrecked. So please pay attention. Never ever get an ammo truck, a fuel truck, and just keep it around your units, because that will happen. Also, I'm just trying to clear up some of the units so I can actually, you know, show this without any lag. Moving on to the machine guns and the artillery pieces. The 30 cal machine gun. Interesting. I like this thing in GSM where they're not on like a pedestal, but they're actually like on a tri-mount on the ground. It's like, and that's like, I like this. I like it a lot. Look at the guy like reloading that. I just like this more. I mean, it gives it a disadvantage when you're trying to shoot over walls, but I do like this thing a lot more than the ones that are, you know, on a pedestal. Same with the 50 cal, you know, it just does what the 30 cal does, but it does a more satisfied sound. And it also has a lot more firepower. You can actually use this to take out like 222s, 223s, half tracks, BA11s, I think even. So quite a good defensive unit. This is a little bit overpowered, I think. I love this unit. This is the MacLean. Oh my god, yeah. Absolutely adore this beauty. Imagine the power of 150 cal. Now imagine the power of 450 cal shooting at one point. Yes, you'll have the quad 50. I love it to bits. The 37mm M3AT gun, standard size of a 37mm. I think the Russians and I'm not sure about the Russians. Maybe they use a 47mm. I know the British use a 40mm. The Germans have a 37mm AT gun, the Pak 36, and they use the same size of a shell, the 37mm. It's an okay AT gun. I don't really expect to stop anything big. You know, Panzer II can stop. You know, you can stop a Panzer II, Panzer I, any other car can be stopped by this AT gun. Moving up to the 40mm Bofors. This thing is amazing. Comes with a tow truck, and this thing, oh, I love it. This is a rapid-firing 40mm AA gun, which also can be used to, you know, kill Panzer IIIs and sometimes Panzer IVs. And this gun really does a good job at it. It fires rapid. You can fire HE and AP from it. And the Jeep that tows it can go 36 kilometers an hour. So see, it's a pretty fast, you know, you can get it to the battlefield quite fast and easy. M1 AT gun is a 57mm AT gun, the same size as the medium AT gun for the Brits, I think. Decent sized AT gun. I think it doesn't have any issues with the Panzer IV. You know, you have issues with some more heavily armored tanks. Moving up to the 76mm M5 AT gun. I think this is the same gun as used on. Well, you know, it's 150% sure the same size because the Sherman 76 also uses a 76. I'm not sure if it uses the exact same M5 gun, but it's the same size as the guns that the Americans use in our 76 Shermans, and it's quite a good gun. It can definitely take out Panzer IVs. It doesn't have that many issues with Tigers and Panthers. From the side, 100% sure. From the front, kind of depends, I guess, on the range, the angle, and what shell type you're using. Moving on to the last but not least, 19mm M2 AA gun. Oh, I love this. This kind of reminds me of the Flak 88 mixed with that British 93mm gun, I think. Comes with an amazing looking Studebaker truck. And let's make this. Oh, baby. Hot fucking damn. Alright, let's get him up. Love that thing. Definitely doesn't have any issues with Tigers. This gun will penetrate some of the most heavily armed tanks. Not just the Germans, but I'm just using the German tanks because most people will know what those are, and at least I'm sure that, you know, you can penetrate that or not. And moving on to the artillery section, the M1 mortar. Not going to pay attention. It's just a mortar from vanilla. Nothing really, you know, to look at really. It's just a mortar. You know, what do you want? The M21 it looks pretty interesting, actually. I like this one. It's a mortar on the back of a half track. Half track doesn't have any defenses, but it does have that mortar, and it's just a very rapid. You know, you can fire at a position and get the mortar out of there again. Also, they're kind of protected by the truck, so I mean, they're not. It's not as easy to kill the people in this truck as it is to kill the people on the mortar. Moving on to the M2 heavy mortar. This thing is armed with 120mm shells. Now, the thing is in GSM, it fires Okay, I stopped it. Look at the houses half gone. I love the heavy mortars in this game are pretty damn good. And you don't get too many rounds for it, but that's okay. Moving on to the 75mm M8 field gun. The same gun, actually, that you get when you are using one of the special points, one of the 10 special points in multiplayer in vanilla, and you get the airborne howitzer. It's this thing. It's pretty useful, actually. You're able to fire over small hills, and it's a one-shot and then reload, and you know you can target something else. It doesn't actually fire a salvo or a barrage. You can just fire one shell. So it's very easy. Very useful to take out like what is it very useful against? It's very useful against like machine gun positions, maybe like AT guns hidden behind like a wall. Pretty useful for those situations. Moving on to the 75mm HMC T30. Now this is an artillery piece. It's not a how do you say it? It's not a AT gun because it doesn't have any armor piercing shells. It has a 50 cal on the back. I'm not really sure if it's going to be. Oh, actually, damn. It's actually that's 50 cals can be quite useful because it can go like 100 and basically it can go like 270 degrees. I think pretty much. It cannot go the last like part, but that's still pretty good. And then it has a 75mm gun. It's pretty useful, I guess. And it can also even tow AT gun. So just quick fire support, you know, if you want to get somewhere quick. I guess it's kind of a cheaper variant of a. Oh, is that not in here? Oh, we're getting to the Scott. Okay, we'll get to the Scott in a little bit. Moving on to the 105mm HMC. Not gonna fire this. It's literally the same thing. This thing just fires a bigger shell. That's all it does, really. Hard to find a thing. Here we go. Yes. Moving on to one of my favorite tanks, I guess, for the Americans, the 105 Sherman. It's the same thing as this thing. Actually, it's not the same thing. It's a different gun. It's same size, but it's a different gun. But the thing I like about it is the fact that it's just a normal Sherman, but you can fire it. It's a 105 shell, so it's quite a big shell. And you can fire it in a high angle. And I was going to say it's pretty accurate, and it decides to miss completely, but I actually like to think it's pretty accurate. It is pretty accurate usually. It has that 30 cal on top to defend itself with. And it has a 30 cal coaxial and a 30 cal in the hull. It's a pretty useful tank to, you know, destroy enemy positions. The 105 M2A field howitzer. Wasn't this using the M2, M4? Oh. This is just a 105 artillery piece. Not going to pay too much attention to it. It's just another variant of a howitzer. This one will fire at a higher arc, delivers a bigger shell, but the range is shorter. The 155 field howitzer. This is the Schneider, isn't it? Yeah, it's the Schneider. I've already taken multiple looks at this in other nations, including France, and I think Russia as well, so I'm not going to pay attention to it. It is, however, being towed by the M4 high-speed tractor, so that's a useful thing, I suppose. Moving on to the 155mm field howitzer. This is an American howitzer, and damn, look at the fucking barrel. Jesus, you don't want to get hit by that. The sound is pretty fucking creepy. Now we have to wait for the barrage to be over, though. So that sucks. Well, in the meantime, let's get the long tom. I love this thing. Oh yes, look at the size of this thing. It's not called the long tom for nothing, really. Let's let him aim.
The Germans are gonna learn
Let's get this thing out of here if we can.
Missouri.
Actually, I'll just fire my own guys. I know it's pretty bad, but I just want to get rid of them so it doesn't lag as much. Alright, now let's do. Let's watch this happen.
Alright, that's it. Let's move out.
The explosions on this thing. The range on that gun. The explosive damage on this. God, look at that. It's just so good. It also sounds really awesome in GSM. And last but not least, let's take a look at the range. Because that's probably what people are looking forward to most on these things. Let's see what the range is. I think it's like 250. I don't even remember. Okay, so it's it's basically 300 meters. That's what the range is on this gun. Yeah, it's actually quite fast reload gun, but look at that thing. It's just insane. Look at the size of that barrel. It's not called the Long Tom for nothing. Moving on to the Priest, the M7 Priest, armed with the same 105mm gun as... you know where it is. Is it this one? Oh, I think you destroyed it earlier. It's the same thing, with this on a on a right platform with a 50 cal as defense, which is pretty useful, I guess. Infantry is kind of open there, but it's okay. Moving on to the M12 gun motor carriage is using the M12 gun. I think it's pretty much a Long Tom on a car, on a tank, sorry. Well, I mean, no speed, armor is negligible. You don't really want to use this thing as like a frontal, well, I guess you use it as a frontal assault gun, but it's not, advised. The T92, oh, this thing, oh yes. This is a thing. Oh my god, I love this thing. This is from World of Tanks. I mean, I know this tank from World of Tanks. It's a Tier 10 American artillery. Look at the size of that fucking hole. This is ginormous. Let's just fire a shell into this area over here and see what happens. Ripped everything. Everything is just gone. And let's listen to it fire. Oh, I think it only fires once. That sucks. Alright, well, I guess I'm not gonna listen to it fire anymore. That's, sorry guys, but this thing has got no armor, no speed, but that gun, holy fuck. Not gonna get anywhere else. And last but not least in the artillery tree, the M4A3 Calliope, which is probably the most annoying thing in the entire world when you have infantry and this happens. Doesn't matter where you're hiding, doesn't matter what you're doing, your infantry is gonna get wrecked. And to make it worse, you can fire 2 volleys before you have to reload. Now, you don't want to be sitting here and, you will lose infantry, you will lose your offensive, you will lose a lot of stuff that you like a lot. So, big tip, don't fuck around with a Calliope. Alright, what is happening? What is this? Let's get inside, something to do. Alright, and moving on to the armored vehicles, you have the M3A1. The 30 cal armed half-track with a bazooka on board, same one as the one from the mechanized infantry. We have the M3A1 white scout car armed with a 50 cal. 50 cal isn't able to go 360 degrees, but it's a 50 cal, so it's useful against like armored cars and you get to jump on them, I suppose. The M20 armored car armed with a 50 cal and a bazooka on board, pretty useful. I like this armored car. Pretty fucking fast at 42 kilometers an hour. Holy fuck. Although the M3A1 goes 46 kilometers an hour. M16 GMC. Imagine a quad 50. Imagine on the back of a half track. You got the M60. Oh, this vehicle is so much fun. I love it. Again, quite fast actually, 30 kilometers. No armor, but who really needs armor on a thing that can fire like 50 cals times 4? So yeah. The M8 Greyhound. Interesting unit, often bought in the wrong circumstances though. Has a 30 cal on the top, a 30 cal coaxial as well, and there's a 37mm gun. Very good speed, no real armor, but still useful against infantry. And the last but not least is the M15G CGMC, which looks weird, and I'm never really sure what to think of this thing. It has a 37mm rapid fire gun. Right, going from there, and it has twin 50 cal coming from those weird. This thing is something that if it starts firing on you, you're gonna cry, because this thing is something you don't want to fire at you at all. It has 50 cals as a rapid firing 37mm gun, and that 37mm. Look at the HE. Look at it. It does damage. That's awesome. Alright, we'll move it up. These aren't just shells from the artillery. They actually are the shells from the artillery. Alright, moving on to the light tanks. You have the M2A4. Perfect is like one of the first. This is the first Stuart, I think. Armed with a 37mm. Decent armor. 58 kilometers an hour. Holy fucking shit. Let's move him there. Look at that acceleration. Holy fuck, that was quick. Right, yeah, that's definitely a fast tank. You know, you can really flank units with that really fast. LVT, armed with a 75mm low velocity gun. It's basically an infantry support. It's able to carry a lot of units on the back, so it's actually an interesting troop transport, although it's really slow. I don't really see the reason. It's just very good. Has a 50 cal on the top as well, so it's okay, I guess. It's not really too bad. Moving on to the M8 Scott. This is what I said. This is basically that M2 howitzer we saw over here. But now it's on
That's
a
it. Let's move out.
on a Stewart. It goes pretty fast. Has crap armor, but that's not really what it's doing this for, because the range is quite a lot. And I just got some people there. So yeah, it's quite a useful thing. It's just basically a Stu 42 or that or the BA7. No, I forgot what the Russian name was for that tank, but that support tank. But it's basically the American version of that. The M3 Stewart, a lot slower than its predecessor. Same gun, I think. Let's take a look. Same gun. That's not the same tank. There it is. Same gun. Has a little bit more armor. Loses like half its speed. Literally loses half the speed. So it's like, you know, man. And we have the M19 GMC. This thing is awesome. It's the 40mm above fours. Imagine two of those on a tank, firing rapid fire. Yes, you have this, and it's fucking amazing. Infantry, light vehicles, beware. Sides of Panzer IVs, gone. The M5A1 Stewart, a little bit faster than the predecessor, has the same armor. I'm not really sure. It's just a little bit better in general, but it's not really that much better. My favorite tank, probably my favorite tank, is the M24 Chathi. I love this little tank. It has a 75mm gun. It's pretty fast, has absolutely no armor, whatever. Well, pretty much armor, but it's pretty fast. Small profile, small tank, pretty damn useful. 30 cal in the hull and a 30 cal in the coaxial position. Moving on to medium tanks, America's finest, the M3 Lee. This monstrosity has a 75mm here, 30 cal times 2. Wait, what? A twin 30 cal on the front, apparently. A coaxial at the top, which is that little turret. A coaxial on the next to this 37, and a 37 in the turret. Quite an interesting tank, because it can fire forward with the main gun at enemy vehicles, and it can use its 37 and 2 machine guns to fire at infantry or at enemy vehicles around it. So it's pretty useful, actually, to hold a position. The M4A1 Sherman. Here's where it all started. The first Sherman. It looks pretty good. 76mm armor, 75mm gun, 33 kilometers an hour. Only has 4 crew. Doesn't have that 30 cal on the top though. Moving on to the M4 Sherman. This actually has the 30 cal on the top. Exact same tank, same speed. This thing just has a little bit. Has the machine gun on top, which is still useful against infantry. The M4A3 Sherman, armed. I don't really see the difference in this. I think this one has, like, more armor.
Germans are gonna learn how we do it in
Doesn't say it has more armor. It just looks better. What is it? If someone can tell the difference between the M4 Sherman and the M4A3, there's probably like a production difference, right? I have no idea, but you guys will have to tell me in the comments below. The M4A3 R2 proc. Oh, I love this thing. It's a normal Sherman armed with a flamethrower besides the main gun. The flamethrower only has like a 40 meters, actually 35 meters range, I think. Actually, wait, 30 meters range. But then again, you know, it's an armored flamethrowing tank, so you don't want to really, want one of these to, you know, pop up where you don't have any AT infantry or AT defenses, and it just runs up towards your infantry, and then you're fucked because you just have a massive barbecue. The M4A1 Sherman 76W, and we'll get to his brother as well. This is the one that's in vanilla. This is the one that's in GSM. So the basic difference is this has less armor. This has even less armor than the standard Sherman. This one has one speed less but has more armor. This has one speed more but has more armor. Same tank. This actually is the M2 variant. This is the M1 variant. I'm pretty sure the M1A1 and the M1A2. Pretty sure let's take a look. I'm just gonna say this out of nowhere. Oh. I would have thought that the I would have really thought that the M1A2 would have been better than the M1A1. I guess I was wrong. The real time on the M1A2 actually is a second shorter. That's probably the difference between them. But yeah, good tanks. You know, no armor, but you know they can kill tigers if you're lucky, and if they get the shot off or the side definitely. So pretty darn good vehicles. Moving on to the heavy tanks with the M4A3E2 Jumbo. Now this tank has a fucking amazing turret. Same tank, same gun as a normal Sherman, but the turret is 150 millimeters thick. You don't want this thing to show up when you only have Panzer IIIs around. Yes, you don't want that to happen. Moving on to the M6A1 heavy tank. This has always intrigued me. I saw this tank in World of Tanks ones, I think, and it has that weird double machine. What is that with double 50? A double 50 cal in the front of a tank. I mean, I get why. It just looks amazingly cool. It also has a 50 cal on top. Actually, that's not true. Hang on. 50 cal on top. I'm not really sure what this other thing is for. I want to know now. What is this for? Okay, apparently I'm not able to use that. That's sad. But we are able to use the 76mm gun. It's very well armored for an American tank, 102mm. It's quite slow, but you know it does make up with that in armor. 102mm is like double that of that. It's almost double of the M4A1 Sherman 76. So I guess it's it's something. This is a very cool tank. You know, it's like we got a Sherman. We put a better gun on it. We just need to put better armor on it. Now we have a Jumbo with a 76mm gun, so it combines the Sherman into a heavily armored and heavily armed and armored tank, and it just looks amazing. It's that nice 30 cal there in the hull, a 30 cal on top, and it has a 30 cal collection. I'm not really sure. It just comes out of nowhere. Sure. And a 76mm M1A1 gun sounds like an 8 at the time, but it does look like an amazing cool tank, and I love it. It's not that fast, but you know, you don't really need speed when you buy this tank. Moving on to the M26 Pershing, armed with that 90mm gun. Oh, this tank is so beautiful. 102mm, not very powerful armed, I guess, or powerfully armored, but the 90mm gun is very dangerous. And listen to it. It sounds beautiful. That's camo too. The T-29, another tank I know from World of Tanks. This turret is on the front 279mm thick. So enjoy trying to get past that with any ammo. It has a 50 cal in a coaxial, a double one. Wait, what's that? What is It's a double oh, it has two fucking 50 cals there. It has a hold mount at 30, and it has an AA mounted 30 cal as well. And it's fired. It has a 105mm gun, so it's even a bigger gun. My apologies for the sudden cut. Men of War decided to screw me over and crash right before I finished the video. I just needed 6 more vehicles, so I almost made it. Almost made it in one sit, but it's okay. I left off at the M26E4 Super Pershing. This isn't really a fast tank, but it has a 90mm T15E2 gun. It's a 50 cal on top, a 30 cal in the hull, and a 30 cal in a coaxial position, and that 90mm gun on the Super Pershing. Oh my god. It just fired through the house, hit the other house. I mean, this gun is seriously beast as hell. It is one of the cooler looking tanks. I just love the the gun weights there right above right in the turret as well. It just looks beast. Let's get it over with. Let's drive him over there. So that's the Super Pershing. Pretty interesting unit. I'm not really sure which tank I like better. This one has a bigger gun, has more armor, but I'm not sure. I'm not really sure between these two which one to pick, to be honest. Last but not least, the Tank Hunter and Assault Guns. The Willys AT Jeep. I love this thing. Fires 2 rockets with a pretty fast reload, I guess. You know, it's not really that fast, but it's quick. You're able to, you know, flank and spank units, you know, come out of the fog of war, and, you know, do damage to a Panzer III, Panzer IV, even like a Tiger II or whatever, because it's, you know, you're firing bazooka heat rockets into the side of a tank, so damn, yeah, you can definitely do a lot of damage with that little Jeep if you manage to, stay close with it. 75mm GMC M3. This is an 18 gun version of the earlier vehicle we saw over here. Here we see the HMC T19 and HMC T30. This is basically the same idea, but now instead of an artillery piece, they put an AT gun on it. Rapid deployment, 35 kilometers an hour. So it's going to be pretty useful, for those quick hit and run situations. It has absolutely no armor, but that's perfectly fine with me. M18 Hellcat, probably my favorite tank destroyer for America. Has that M1A2 gun that the Sherman 76 has, this one, the last one, but it has absolutely no armor. You might as well just not have armor on this thing. 25mm. I don't think it's even enough to stop like a 20mm gun firing at it. So it has to do with its speed, 50 kilometers an hour. That's what we're talking about here. The gun itself, reloads okay-ish fast. It's not like superbly amazing fast or whatever, but I guess it reloads fast enough, but the speed of this thing is where it really gets to shine. Look at this. Look at the speed. I adore the Hellcat. It's probably my favorite American, which is the same thing word as amazing. This my favorite American tank destroyer. The M10 Wolverine kind of doesn't really deliver as much to me as the Hellcat. It has a little bit more armor, but why do you need more armor, really?
Yes,
You're
sir.
gonna lose. It barely has any at all. I mean, it doesn't even have like double the armor now. It has less than double. So, and let's see what a Wolverine is such a good thing. Also, the 50 cal on the Hellcat can be used everywhere, whereas the 50 cal on the Wolverine can only be used at the back of the turret. So you actually have a better infantry defense on the Hellcat. It's quicker, and you're not gonna buy it for the armor, are you? It's the same price, so I don't really see why you would not get the Hellcat over Wolverine. The M36 Jackson is very interesting. It's a 90mm gun, the exact same gun as the Pershing, the 90mm M3 gun. It does cost a lot less. Of course, it has...
Got it, sir.
Wait, what? It's faster. It has... The 50 cal, I guess, can... Okay, machine gun-wise, the Jackson is not as good as the Pershing. It doesn't have a coaxial, and the 50 cal it has can only fire backwards. So, infantry defense-wise, this thing is pretty bad. You'll need to back it up. Like, you need to have infantry around it to support it. But it has a 90mm gun, the exact same as the Pershing, and it is pretty. It's faster than the Pershing. So, I mean, the Jackson is probably my favorite tank destroyer together with the Hellcat just because of the power. But there's also this thing. I never knew there was a difference between the Slugger and the Jackson, but apparently I read, and I'm going to read it, you can see it here. Its chassis was unmodified, taken from the M4A3 Sherman, so it basically has the Sherman hull, which I never knew, and I don't think it really changes that much at all. And I don't know why it just says that there should be a difference. The real time on the Jackson is 13. I don't see why I don't know why. The only reason why you would take this is because you have a 30 cal in the hull. Otherwise, it's exactly the same thing. It just costs a lot more. But I guess that's all the units I had to show you for America. So as I said, don't forget to comment below Russia, Japan, or the Commonwealth in the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to stay awesome, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.
Claim this love that you never started. You once destroyed a broken heart that was already shattered. Holding on to what